Those horror stories you heard about in the forest, they're true. They're all true.
Officials found a camera with this film in it, but no trace of the people.
We believe that there is a creature living in these mountains. And possibly a close relative to man.
We're already in Bigfoot territory, where all those people were killed. Not far from here, a motorcyclist was found. There was no trace of the thing that killed him. Our Bigfoot's not playing games anymore. Maybe next time he won't be happy just to scare us.
Hey, I'm Jeff. I think Toby's here.
Yeah, Toby's here. All of a sudden now I can't hear a damn thing.
The joys of technology.
There we go. Now we're back.
Toby's regained his hearing. It's a miracle.
That's what happens in old age, man. All right. So what's been up, Jeff?
So we're just going to talk over each other the whole time. But welcome to the first episode of What the Hell Did We Just Watch?
Yes, nice welcome to all three listeners we might get this one.
So here by popular demand, not really, nobody asked for this, but yet here we are.
That's right. And if you know us, we talk about movies that nobody else wants to watch and nobody's ever heard of.
Yet again, here we are. So
we will gladly start with this wonderful movie called Night of the Demon. What was this, 1983?
1980 or 1983. I found both numbers. Allegedly, it was shot in 1980 and released in 1983.
Okay. So it was made at the height of the Bigfoot movie scene at the tail end, obviously. And then they changed the name to make it more slashery, I guess. Amityville. Yes. Oh, man.
There is no demon. Spoiler alert. So what we will do on this show, like Toby said, is talk about crazy movies that either A, you've never seen, B, you've never seen and don't ever want to see, or C, might want to watch after we rip it to shreds just to see if our opinion holds up. And I can't get enough of this crazy fucking shitty Bigfoot movie, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm waiting for all the thank yous for all the royalty checks that these people will get from what our podcasts will bring on views.
Yeah, they're going to appreciate that 0.03 cents. So
that is correct. Because I don't think
this movie has it all. I mean, there's a Sasquatch rape. There's a clan of hillbillies worshiping a wicker Sasquatch. There's things I can't. It's hard to describe. I don't know.
Jeff, don't give it all away at the first 5 minutes, because once you throw in Bigfoot rape, everybody's going to listen for the rest of this podcast.
I felt like it was good to lead with.
All right. Oh man. Okay. So anyway, we want to talk a little bit about ourselves on occasion. So we got to ask Jeff, like, what's he been doing all week? This will be more appropriate after the first episode, but
never going to be appropriate. So I've pretty much just been holed up in my house, playing on dating websites. So any eligible ladies out there who like really shitty movies and not leaving their house, feel free to hit me up.
Because that's your best date, is when they don't leave their house, Jeff.
My only date. even pre-pandemic.
Yes. Oh, man.
Toby, what have you been doing this week?
What have I been doing? Actually, nothing. I have been working and getting ready for Christmas, and That's about it. Got to throw in a little extra bartending time on Saturday, and when I wasn't even supposed to be working. So
I do that too. I just don't get paid for it, and it's for me. So,
well, yeah, it's not hard to pop a can of Keystone Light.
fair statement. All right. With that, the coffee's hitting pretty hard. So Jeff's gonna have to take a pee break, and we will be right back, and we'll get into this crazy ass shitty Bigfoot movie.
Yes, we will. All right. Don't take too long, Jeff.
I will try. Hey, Toby,
What?
what are you wearing?
Ah, you fucking pervert.
No, seriously, what are you wearing? Because I got this new shirt. It's got Jason with his hockey mask on it. It's all 80s looking, and it says TGIF. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, no, I've got my Atomic Cotton Near Dark shirt on.
Sweet. You got a new shirt from Atomic Cotton, too?
Yeah. Couldn't decide between the Near Dark or the Little Miss Risk one.
Yeah, they got lots of choices.
Oh, they do.
They even have masks.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'm going to get the Practice Safe Sex mask.
I'm thinking about the Don't Be a Dick mask.
Ah, man. I'm thinking the Be Kind or Fuck Off mask.
That one's cool, too. So, hey, you. Yeah, you. Out there on the information superhighway. Head over to atomiccotton.com and get some new shit for you. This sweetens the deal a little bit. Use promo code WTH30. Tell them we sent you and get 30% off. That way you can afford to get both t-shirts and a mask. Atomiccotton.com makes badass clothes for badass people. Can't get this shit at Hot Topic? Just go over to atomiccotton.com and get your new wardrobe today. Just use promo code WTH30 at checkout to receive 30% off your entire cart.
That's right. You'll be one of the cool people.
Like us. Atomiccotton.com. Check them out.
We're back.
That was refreshing.
That took a little longer than expected. Jeff shook it 3 times. That means he was playing with himself.
And I should have refilled my coffee before jumping back on to record, but I did not. So just a little disclaimer. It is pandemic times. We are recording this remotely. So, bear with us on that.
Yes, because we can't see each other. So we will talk over each other, but this is normal anyway.
Right. Also, when inviting Toby back to the conversation, I almost sent it to my insurance agent, which would have been interesting.
Oh, good. I could have taken a day off. All right.
That might have been fun, actually. Well, Tony might have had some things to say. I don't know.
All right. Oh my gosh.
Where to start with Night of the Demon?
Well, he starts. Dr. Nugent, our hero,
I guess,
is the
protagonist.
Yes, is in a hospital bed with half his face mutilated.
Allegedly mutilated.
Yes, allegedly, and covered from his nose down to his chest in one piece of gauze with a mouth hole about in the middle of his neck.
I felt like maybe he'd just gotten a nice shave and was wrapped and exfoliating. I don't know.
Nice warm towel after the shave, yes. So the whole movie's a friggin' flashback, except for when you see Dr. Nugent in the hospital bed. And there are flashbacks within flashback. So Nugent's telling his story of taking a group of his students out to the woods to find this monster that has killed one of the girls' fathers.
Yeah. So at this point, before we get too far ahead, I would like to point out the glorious job that the police were doing of questioning Dr. Nugent when the policeman actually asked the doctor, did he say anything about the 5 students that are missing? And the doctor responds, yes, a great deal. To which the police inspector says, that's an improvement. And then we kind of move on in conversation, which I feel is not possibly the best policing.
No. Yes. And horribly acted. Sorry.
I don't even know if you can call it acting. Except for Bigfoot. He was great.
Oh, we'll get to that in a little bit. Oh man.
But I
So
digress. Toby's the smart one, so we'll let Toby go ahead with the plot.
I don't know. I mean, what we do, we flash back to the classroom where lady tells about her dad being murdered and the footprint mysteriously disappearing. The photo of the foot disappears, but it was published in a newspaper, and then he denies it all in court. So she's the one that is looking for her dad and trying to find this monster. It's silly. I mean, there's, I don't know, 1983, 80. There's a bunch of lookalikes for people that you might recognize.
I didn't get any of that.
But they're seriously, these people are known for this movie only. It's like student number one. You know? She had one line in this movie, and she's had 2 movie credits. So, I mean, this must have killed a lot of careers. Let's get to the good stuff. We're just going to skip right on. I mean, they're in the class, blah, 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 big spiel. We found out all this information about the disappearing picture and everything. And now first flashback while she's telling her story is of her dad getting murdered by Bigfoot.
Wait, was it her dad that got his arm ripped off?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes, and the this is my first problem. It's the blood of many. It's the bloody stump. Bigfoot rips the man's arm off, and there is no blood squirting out of the man's shoulder. It's squirting out of the arm. I didn't know after you ripped an arm off that you could squirt blood 3 feet onto the white tent, which took me a second to figure out. I was like, why all of a sudden is there a white sheet out in the middle of the woods?
Also, apparently Bigfoot has pink eye.
Yes, the red eye of the demon is what I wrote down. I mean, use some music for this, folks. Don't use a red eyeball filter. I don't even know what to call it. It looks like a red starburst around the screen, and
it looks like they just took lipstick and drew a circle around the edge of the lens.
Well, practical effects, right? We don't need to do this in post. We'll just do it here.
But speaking of music, when we come out of the flashback and we're at the college, we get some amazing 70s sitcom music.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Jody and Buffy and their friend Terrence. I mean, it's great music for that TV show. I don't even know who Jody and Buffy and Terrence are, but sounds like early 80s.
Did you actually take notes and write down character names?
No, Jody, Terrence, and Buffy are my fake 1980 sitcom kids.
Okay. Seems legit.
I mean, the only reason I remember Nugent's name is, because it's spelt Nugget at one point and Nugent on another. And yeah, and he's nowhere near as cool as Ted.
I mean, that's a debatable statement, but
no, that is debatable.
So then we get brought very quickly to a second flashback of, quote, 2 kids who are not kids. They appear to maybe be in their 30s making out in a van, and there's some gratuitous nipple sucking.
That was not making out. That was full on hardcore porn.
We didn't see the penetration, so I don't know if you'd call it hardcore.
Yeah, never got that far. But my biggest curiosity was Bigfoot knows how to open up a back of a van.
And drag somebody across the top of it without getting the roof in, apparently.
Right. Well, the bad thing about it is that the deaths in this movie sound more sexual than the actual sex scenes.
It was a very unsexy sex scene. I've rarely been so turned off by gratuitous nipple sucking.
Oh, in man butt.
Yeah, not sexy. I mean, I realize it was 1980 or 1983, but very unsexy.
Yes, very, very. But we can. I don't know. The man died on the roof of the van, hanging over, looking in the windows for like 5 minutes while she screamed and moaned. supposedly she died by Bigfoot, but
yeah, because he reaches in the back of the van and she screams because clearly the thought of getting out of the van and running did not occur to her while all of this was taking place.
well, the band seems safe for
Temporary suspension of disbelief. Okay, I get it.
the band seems safe. Oh man! All right, so that was well, I guess that's the only flashback that takes place at night.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Uh,
No. Yeah, it's possible. I don't know. They all live together. I don't know.
All right, so we're just going to skip it. Why don't we just go through all the flashback death scenes real quick?
Sure. I don't have those in order in my scribbled notes, but yeah, we can do that.
I mean, we're halfway through, and what do we got? Because I like your telling of the biker.
Oh, the biker is the best. The biker is a crowning cinematic moment. Like, fuck Orson Welles and the snow globe falling out of his hand and saying Rosebud and talking about his sled. Spoiler alert, if you've never seen Citizen Kane, it's a fucking sled. This beats it to hell. So Dr. Nugent says, well, there was a biker driving through the woods and he had to stop off to go to the bathroom, which he then does. He's peeing in the bushes and the bushes rustle and he has a Scooby-Doo expression like, huh? And all of a sudden, a hairy arm comes from behind the camera, grabs his completely exposed wiener, full on cock in the shot, lifts him off the ground, swings him around. The next thing we see, he hits the ground and he's holding his crotch. Blood is spurting everywhere. He makes it back to his motorcycle and pisses blood all over the side of the motorcycle. And then, I guess, disappears. It just kind of fades out. I guess Bigfoot took him away. I don't know. But best swung around by your wiener with a Bigfoot and pissing blood scene ever filmed.
Oh, yes. All right, now, the next flashback. Yeah, and the bad thing is, I think they actually showed like a ripped off penis in that scene, like it was between his fingers sticking out.
Yeah,
it was like this is nasty, people.
Pretty gratuitous for 1980 or 1983. I mean, I give this movie props for going there. Like, it goes some places movies of that era didn't typically go.
Well, I mean, yeah. It's no Cannibal Holocaust, but
Fair.
All right. Is there?
How about the Girl Scouts?
The Girl Scouts. Wow, did I fall asleep twice?
Oh, I hope you didn't miss the Girl Scouts.
No, by the way, people,
I'll take this one as well.
I have to explain myself to people. I tried to watch this movie twice and fell asleep in it twice. Literally, my eyes would not stay open. So obviously, I missed the Girl Scouts, I think. So, well, Jeff will tell you. Here you go, Jeff.
Yeah, I rewound the biker penis scene and watched it like 15 times in a row. I just couldn't get enough. This is on Amazon Prime, by the way, everybody, in case you want to watch this cinematic gold. You can find it. It's out there. So the Girl Scout scene, yet another flashback, where we're introduced by, this is the area where a couple of Girl Scouts went missing while hiking, looking for a new area to camp in. And we see the Girl Scouts, who, again, appear to be maybe in their 20s, and they're simply wearing T-shirts that say Girl Scouts. No actual uniform. And for whatever reason, they appear to be carrying steak knives through the woods. No explanation. They hear a growl. They run very clumsily for like 3 minutes until a hairy creature jumps out of what should have been plain sight in front of them, grabs them, and bashes them together, making them stab each other to death.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
Funny story. I actually saw this clip years ago on a pre-show reel at Alamo Drafthouse before a movie, and I had no idea what it was from. But I thought, whatever this is, I must see this movie.
And now you have twice.
Years later, here we are, 3 times actually. But
so yeah, and I guess the last one would be death by twirling sleeping bag is what I have.
Well, that's not the last one, but we'll save the other one for last.
Is it? There's another one? What the hell did I miss?
Wacky Wanda?
Well, that's not a flashback. That's not the flashback in the.
she's hypnotized and telling them the story. But anyway, I digress.
Oh my God, there's multiple flashbacks in this movie.
The movie is pretty much a flashback to fill you in. They've gone out to look for this thing. They have come up on Carlson's Landing, which is apparently just an area off a creek where a dude lives, but put up a sign that says Carlson's Landing that you can only get to by boat. He acts fucking weird. So they camp on his property. And as they're camping out on his property and he's acting weird and not talking to them, most of these flashbacks take place.
Right. Yes.
So now we're pretty well caught up.
So death by twirling sleeping bag. That was just a random guy sleeping in the daytime in the woods in a sleeping bag. No fire, no nothing. Just
no girl.
Taking a little nap out in the middle of the woods in the daytime. Bigfoot comes along. Yes, like you do. Bigfoot picks him up, twirls his sleeping bag around, throws him into the trees, and he is impaled by a branch. Well, besides the biker, probably the best death scene in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the sound effect of the guy screaming while being twirled, which made me almost pee my pants laughing. Aside from that, yeah, that scene was actually like almost worthy of like a Friday the 13th movie kill.
Right. Yes. He's it's after the second watching of the movie, everything sounded overdubbed.
Oh, everything was overdubbed, 100%. I don't know that they had sound recording equipment when they shot the movie.
They just did it silently and said, "Remember what you said."
And even that, I mean, remember what you said if you can. We'll make it work.
We'll just put the red eye of the demon up on the screen to cover your mouth.
We'll just cut to another flashback while you're talking. It's fine.
Okay. So the group has left Carlson's Landing to go find. It's Crazy Wanda. I wrote it down, Jeff. It's not. No, wacky.
It is not. It's Wacky Wanda. It's Wacky Wanda. It's the alliteration. It's Wacky Wanda. I assure you.
I've seen it twice. Oh, all right. Fine. We'll just leave it at Wanda. So they're out to find Wanda's cabin in the woods, and they set up camp, and it becomes night, and Dr. Nugent and Roy, yes, that's his name, Roy, he's getting ready to graduate college, and he's the tough guy. So they go out they're out and exploring and run across the Bigfoot sex cult.
Yeah. And the wicker Sasquatch.
Oh yes, that is a great scene. So fires the gun 3 times in the air.
Can I just add context here?
Okay.
There's literally like 20 hillbillies and naked Wacky Wanda on some kind of pyre. I don't know what the hell. It looked like a picnic table out in the middle of nowhere. And they're all getting ready to gangbang Wacky Wanda in front of a giant wicker Sasquatch.
Right.
For whatever reason.
When the gunshots went off, there was a naked guy getting ready to be on top of her. And he had some kind of mask. Didn't seem important.
Hillbilly eyes wide shut kind of situation with the Sasquatch involved.
Right. And it obviously did not seem that important because they fired the shots, the hillbillies run off, and then something knocks over and starts burning everything. And Roy goes, "We should probably put that out. It'll start a forest fire." And Dr. Nugent goes, "Let them deal with it. They have the manpower for it." and they turn around and leave. And I'm like,
and they seem super unconcerned when they get back to the camp.
that they may be in the middle of a forest fire in like an hour. No big deal. The hillbillies would take care of
hillbilly rapists in the woods. They seem totally unconcerned about the rest of the campers. The other campers are like, "What happened out there? We were going to look everywhere for you." And he's like, "Some hillbillies and a girl in the woods."
That's all. Big deal. Let's go back.
It's a Tuesday. Yeah.
Oh, geez. Yes, it is. So, I can't even keep a straight face now. I'm losing my mind. This movie sucks so bad, people.
But one can hopefully see at this point why you would have to see it, because it sounds like you made it up.
Oh, yes. We made it up. Yes, at Carlson's Landing, their boats were stolen, their boat was stolen, and the rest of their ammunition and guns. I had a different theory when we get to that point about the guns and ammunition, but I didn't realize it was actually their guns. So,
Oh,
was
yeah, you did. We did talk about this. You did have a theory. And I was like, what the fuck are you even talking about?
I did have a theory. It was probably a better theory than the actual movie.
Oh, 100%.
So I actually gave it way too much credit. So now we're at Wacky Wanda's. Let's go from there. What we start out with?
Well, okay, so some info on Wacky Wanda, because out in the middle of this rural sprawl, apparently there's a school somewhere, and one of the campers talks to a teacher about Wanda, and she says that her dad killed himself. He was like a super religious preacher. He killed himself, and Wanda had a baby that the teacher very upfront said, well, it's a good thing that baby didn't live because it was deformed. It was a mongoloid.
Yes.
So there's a little story on Wanda, and they're like, no, we're in the woods. This must be where Wanda lives. So they go hunting, and eventually they find Wanda's house.
Yes, they do. Man, this is bad. I remember the friggin' grocery store's name. It was Herbs.
Oh, I wrote it down. Yeah.
It's Herbs.
I think I wrote that down somewhere. But
Out in the middle of
gone off script at this point.
This is the detail they bring to this movie. No detail except for at Herbs. There are actually grocery bags printed with Herbs like 4 times down the side. Paper bags with Herbs printed down the 4th side. It's like this place must really exist, or somebody went, "Oh, my only job is to make grocery sacks for this scene." It was
I have to imagine it does really exist in whatever area they were shooting. And they probably just busted into the store to shoot. And Herb's like, what you kids do? Are you guys shooting a porno? You need any help? And they're like, can you just bag the groceries while we run the camera? And then they left. That's how I have to assume the shooting of the scene went down.
Pretty much, yes. Oh man. And then there's a ominous scene at the grocery store in the parking lot where they all get together and they're telling what they found out, and the sheriff's leaning up against a car. Yeah, that was weird. A little buzzing noise there.
Could you hear the buzzing noise?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Right.
I'm recording on a cell phone, so get your top 20 picks from TikTok, by the way.
Yes. So the some sheriff deputy or whatever is leaning up against a car, and that's the only time we see him. And he was probably the best actor in the movie. I don't know why they didn't have him doing the interviews in the hospital at the beginning.
Much more reputable police officer.
Probably because he didn't talk is the reason he was the best actor in the movie. All right. We have gone through everything up until Wacky Wanda's house, which is like the last third of the movie. So should we take a break here and let Jeff check out the top 20 whatever from Pinterest or wherever he was getting notifications from?
I literally am on TikTok to watch potential Bigfoot sightings and Neil deGrasse Tyson, so I doubt it's going to show me anything super exciting. But yeah, I can go get another cup of coffee. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and talk about how this cinematic shitstorm ends. And wrap some things up.
All right, let's do that.
I will be back momentarily.
All right, we're back.
We are. I was upstairs eating and I heard Toby's voice and I was like, God, is that you?
Close enough, but let's. All right, this movie is an hour and 36 minutes long. I know like 6 minutes of it is the opening credits. And I didn't watch the closing credits, so we'll just assume that
you didn't miss much.
We'll assume there were no surprises, for a sequel or anything. So yes, we are to the point where the last third of the movie, they're crazy Wandas or wacky Wandas, or just plain old Wanda.
Wacky Wanda.
All right, fine. I still think Jeff's wrong.
I will sit you down and make you watch this movie again to prove it to you.
I will never watch this movie again, forced or otherwise. All right, where do we start with the Wacky Wanda? Because there's a whole bunch of stuff before they hypnotize her.
Well, so they show up at Wacky Wanda's, and she's pretty wacky. and just kind of lets them in the house and sits down in a rocking chair while all these kids just come in her fucking house.
Oh, yes. And then, the gifts from Bigfoot.
Yes. I think that comes after apparently Dr. Nugent is also an expert in hypnotism.
Yeah,
I
just
guess.
random.
Yeah. I mean, how hard can it be, right? So after not hearing anything, not getting any words from Wacky Wanda, he's like, I've got a great idea. So they decide hypnotism is the way to go. At some point, she's hypnotized, comes out of being hypnotized, goes back in. At some point during that, she goes to a room that's locked and no one can get into.
Right.
And they just pry their way into it and find like a shrine area for a small child. Then they hypnotize her again.
Again. Yeah, it is not great.
It's a little nonsensical. So when they hypnotize her again, this is where we get the backstory of her religious fanatic dad. A lot more flashbacks. She makes out with a boy, heaven forbid, which, FYI, she's no younger in the flashback than she is in the actual scene, even though it was supposed to have taken place many, many, many years before. She just has pigtails.
Right. Yeah, she's 15 when this happens.
But really still like 32, just with pigtails. Kind of like internet porn. So she like has a boyfriend, I guess, and they kind of make out, and heaven forbid that's a sin. So her dad beats her with a belt on the porch and calls her an ungrateful bitch, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
I wrote it down. I'm saving your soul, you ungrateful bitch.
Yes.
Lots of this. And then she runs out of the house, which during a storm, which goes nowhere good for Wanda or Wanda's dad.
Correct.
Because Bigfoot comes out of the woods and he's like, girl. And there's some hot, sweaty Bigfoot sex.
Hot, sweaty Bigfoot sex. Oh, and you got to say, I think she enjoyed it.
It's one of those things. It's like a Sam Peckinpah straw dogs controversial kind of thing. Like she's not into it at first, but then she's kind of like, all right, well, I'm down.
Ah, yes.
The more disturbing part of this is that her dad pretty much watches with a gun, just watching.
Well, he's very polite. He waits till Bigfoot's finished before he shoots at him.
I mean,
you know.
stand-up guy.
That stand-up guy.
So yeah, then he, after Wanda has been impregnated by Bigfoot, he shoots Bigfoot finally, and he runs off in the woods. Right. Then through more hypnotism, we come to find out that Wanda's dad was not approving of the child in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Would pray to kill the demon baby and or his daughter, however God sees fit. Lots of abuse at the hands of her father until we find he did not kill himself. He was in the barn doing something, and she locked him in and set the barn on fire and killed him, burned it down.
Yes, and she is very cold-hearted about that. I mean,
yeah, and at this point, she's out of being hypnotized and actually speaks. It's like, he didn't kill himself, I killed him.
Right, because he killed my baby.
My baby. My baby. So at this point, everybody feels like it's a good idea to go dig up the grave that we've had no mention of up to this point in the movie, as far as I can remember. Yep. But there's a grave on her property somewhere that they magically know where it is. And they dig it up to see if, in fact, it was a Bigfoot. Which
looked like a giant possum head mounted on a dog head, something like that.
Yeah, it looked, I don't know. It looked like kind of a bird head to me.
I'd go with possum with less teeth. But my thing is, they started digging in the daytime, and it was nighttime by the time they finished, but they only went like 6 inches deep to find this buried baby. Because Dr. Nugent, by the way, we do not know what Dr. Nugent is a doctor of. We just know he's a professor. So,
I mean, I would assume anthropology would be my assumption. Because it kind of started out with him showing the footage, the Super 8 footage of the family picnic of the people that were attacked by a hairy creature, which we did not mention earlier. But
Yeah.
and then the students were discussing, well, but that's all a hoax, right? I don't know what other college class that would have happened in.
Well, yeah. All right. Yeah.
So, okay, yeah, find the dead Bigfoot baby.
Find the
And
dead Bigfoot baby.
Professor Nugent's like, oh my God, it's all true. I guess we did skip over the present thing you brought up.
Well, yeah, it was just a towel blanket with like it looked like a glass Coke bottle and trinkets, and you'd think he was killing people to get stuff for her, maybe.
That seems logical. I mean, as logical as it gets in this movie.
But there was no
she says he brings me gifts because he thinks she's his mate.
Yes.
And then we find the Bigfoot baby.
Then we find the Bigfoot baby. And then everything is true, my God. And then we see the red eye of the demon.
And we hear
our final conflict. No mention of this before, but now we are in the house, right? And we've got bars on the windows.
Yeah, they run in the house. But yeah, no mention before. She's like, I'm not afraid of him. He's like, then why do you have bars on your window? Which I feel is a legitimate question.
Yes.
If I were in that position, I would have said the same thing. Why are there fucking bars on your window then?
Right.
They clearly do no good because he rips them right off.
Well, yes, but they run in, and Bigfoot's after him, and there's 3 of them. It's Roy and the girl that's looking for redemption for her dad, whatever her name is.
There's like 5 of them. Yeah, there's the hot girl whose cop dad died, which, in my opinion, the only attractive person in this whole movie because she's pretty hot. There's her, Dr. Nugent, the really fucking annoying blonde girl whose boyfriend got clawed up in the woods that we forgot to mention because
yeah, he's running around with a festering back. I'm just saying the 3 of them that were digging up the grave come running in, and they slam their bodies up against the door and say, "Come help us hold the door shut." But they slam up against the door, and they're like, "Come help us hold the door shut." And Bigfoot's at the door, pounding on the door, going back and forth between the windows, and now they're all away from the door, and there's like a 3-inch wide metal bar across the door. Hey guys, why do you need to hold the door? There's this big old bar that goes across it, which you think would keep Bigfoot out, but he busted his hand through it like it was cardboard, because it was cardboard. Obviously, because he ripped these metal bars off the windows. So festering back boy, blonde guy.
We'll call him Todd.
Yeah, I'm sure I got the name in here somewhere.
I do not, but we'll just call him Todd.
I actually think his name's Gary.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll go with Gary.
Well, Gary's back's hurting.
So Gary grabs the rifle and starts to fire a shot off, and Wanda, speedy little girl she is out of that rocking chair and knocks the gun down out of his hand and fires the shot off. So then he tries to reload. They're out of bullets. This is where I thought it was the gun in the house, but it was their gun. And now we're going to get in depth with the fact that I really thought that the gun was her dad's and he left 1 bullet in there so she could kill herself. I was wrong. That was just way overthinking this movie.
Nobody working on this movie thought of anything that brilliant.
I'm not going to say anything, and I'm just going to apologize to the writers because I know how hard it is to write a script. But
it's not that hard to write, trust me.
So now Bigfoot
tried. They brought in wacky Wanda, and you get some stuff that had promise. Just maybe some poor execution,
or maybe just a bad editor.
That too.
I mean, maybe the editor kept falling asleep after an hour in and was like, "Okay, I got to wrap this shit up.
I'm not even getting paid for this.
I'm going to start cutting. I'm going to start cutting this crap out." So. And I've read a review about this movie from when it first came out, and it said the death scenes overshadow the many flaws in the movie.
Is many in all caps?
No, but
it should have
been. Now Bigfoot breaks in. They end up in the kitchen because all final battles should take place in the kitchen. So let's see. First off, I actually have the list. First off, he kills Gary. with what was
Well, first he kills the hot chick by shaking her to death.
shaking? Yes. All right.
Then they get into the kitchen.
Strangles Carla to death as the other. Yeah, he goes and then he goes in the kitchen. First one, he disembowels Gary. Gary's the festering back dude. I don't even know how he cut his stomach open. I can't remember.
I don't think he really did. I think he was supposed to have just reached in and pulled out entrails.
Well, there was a cut there because there was a nice line of blood, perfectly straight, and then Bigfoot. 3 other victims left to kill, and Bigfoot like takes his time to go, oh, let me dig in here and pull some stuff out slowly for you.
And swings them around the room.
And yeah, slaps the shit out of Dr. Nugent with some bloody entrails.
Part's pretty awesome, actually. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty enthralled with just swinging intestines around the room while going.
Yes. Then we got Roy dies next. It was a great death. I mean, that would have been a better death scene. He smashes Roy's head through the window.
Yes.
And then like slowly grinds his throat on a piece of glass. I don't know how Roy could have stopped that.
Yeah.
Roy could have put his hand, broke the glass, that little chunk out down in the corner, but no, he didn't. But we're in the kitchen, folks, so now we're on to the next death scene, and it is Linda, the blonde, the annoying friggin' blonde lady that they brought along to do dishes and cook.
I've been waiting like half the movie for her to die.
And she's impaled with a pitchfork in the kitchen. This is not Clue, folks. I mean,
in the kitchen with a pitchfork. Done. Drop the mic.
Dr. Bigfoot. Oh, what? Dr. Bigfoot?
Oh, maybe that's in the director's cut. Yeah, the pitchfork is kind of disappointing death for such an annoying character, but they did it upright. I mean, it goes all the way through her.
It does, yes. But where'd the pitchfork come from in the kitchen? I mean,
you don't have a pitchfork in your kitchen?
I don't. I do not.
I have 3.
You have 3. I might need to borrow one then.
Yeah, you just never know.
Never know when Bigfoot needs to come in and kill you with a pitchfork in the kitchen.
It pays to be prepared.
It does. All right. So we've killed off everybody except for Wacky Wanda and Dr. Nugent. And Nugent's passed out in the chair, basically, this whole time. He got slapped hard with those friggin' entrails. So
I mean, they were meaty.
They were meaty. And then he
we're being slapped in the face with an Italian sausage. I mean, by poor man's Lou Ferrigno. So there had to be some force behind it.
Oh, yes, there was. But that is the scrawniest Bigfoot in the world, man. I don't know how anybody would be scared of that Bigfoot. Because we kill off Dr. Nugent. He is we don't kill him off. We fry his face on the wood stove.
Right. With glowing red light.
That's right. And he gets it in there good. He rotates both sides. He makes her all sides. Bigfoot makes sure all sides are brown before you put that thing in the oven. You want your roast crispy on the outside.
Bigfoot's no slouch in the kitchen.
That's right. He knows how to work a human head. I guess. So now we've got that. Let's go. All right. So now you're all caught up. But
yeah, I don't know what else there is. Wacky Wanda just disappears.
Wacky Wanda disappears.
They live happily ever after with Bigfoot, I have to assume.
So there's a big, that's the end of the flashback. And now we're back to the hospital. But we need to go back because we need to talk about this Bigfoot costume.
You got costume.
Because
costume.
This is like the most racist thing ever. I mean, this is right up there with blackface. I mean,
I didn't see it as racist. I just saw it as bad. It's like they just took animal hair and Elmer's glue and just glued it on random parts of this dude.
Okay, yeah, and put
but I digress. Go on with your racist tangent. I'm curious.
The mongoloid lips thing, and it was just like, man, did they really do that to somebody? And Bigfoot had no hair on his face. It was just brown makeup. The guy probably was six foot two, and about is 4 inches around.
I mean, he had muscles.
Yeah, but
He was muscular.
he was scrawny. He was a little scrawny guy. Like, I want Harry and the Hendersons Bigfoot. I mean, come on.
Fair. Way more
I want
realistic.
I want something big and scary, and that was more like, oh my God, there's a guy with a lot of hair growling at me.
Right.
Of course you're gonna die, because it's like, hairy guy, that's gonna make me laugh.
Until you pull my intestines out and swing them around the room.
Well, unless I'm asleep in a sleeping bag in the middle of the woods in the daytime, and he walks up on me, that's not gonna make me laugh.
Trying to get it on with the girl in the woods. In a
That's
van.
right. Yes, in a white panel van with windows all the way around it.
Right.
Oh, geez.
It was not a rape van. I can give it that.
Oh, by the way, the original VHS release has the picture of the guy that dies in the van. That is the cover photo.
Oh, that's maybe even worse than the moon and the clouds on the Amazon Prime cover.
Yes, it is.
Why didn't you just use the Bigfoot footprint filled up with blood in the title sequence? Why would you not just use that?
Oh, yes, because that's the only place blood spurts from during the movie, is that shoulder. That's the only time something actually worked right. But
Well, pesticide sprayers are expensive.
back in 1980, I guess so. But they could have bought a ketchup bottle at Herb's. I mean,
Yeah, that's true. That's a valid point.
I guess they didn't have squeeze bottles, but I mean, they could have been like, hey, you got a picnic kit? Come on.
Yeah, major ball dropped there at Herb's.
That's right. All right. So
that's the movie. Unless you have anything else to add, I kind of fucking love this movie.
We got to wrap it up because, we go back out of the flashback. We're back at the hospital. Dr. Nugent's finished telling the story. And then we find out that one of the doctors is a clinical psychologist.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, I'd have to mark him as criminally insane. So everybody thinks it's a lie. So that's how this movie wraps up.
Yeah, there's so much batshit craziness throughout. I kind of forgot about the final scene.
I saw that on my second viewing. All right. So
Night of the Demon.
Night of the Demon. Look it up. I'm sure you can get a VHS copy pretty damn cheap if there's still any left.
Or if you have Amazon Prime, watch it on there because you don't have to pay extra for it. I would not watch it sober necessarily. That's me.
No. I mean, I drank a pot of coffee the first time watching it, and I still fell asleep. So
I drank a number of adult beverages both times, and stayed awake and enjoyed it to a certain extent.
So alcohol makes it better.
Absolutely.
Coffee doesn't. What do we got, Jeff? We got our we're just going to wrap this up. It's over, folks. We hope we ruined this movie for you. We hope you go out and watch it. These guys need their third of a penny. So they'll make a whole cent when the three of you go out and watch it.
Hey, having made bad movies, I respect their making this bad movie.
Right, and they did it.
I don't know if they took it seriously or if they're like, let's just make a crazy fun movie. I don't really know what was going on inside their heads, but it is a fun, crazy, silly shitstorm of a movie.
Right. Yes. It'd be a good drinking game.
Yes.
Every time there's a flashback, drink. Every time Wanda's mentioned, every time they call it a demon, you drink twice instead of a Bigfoot.
Coming from a borderline alcoholic, this sounds like a case for alcohol poisoning, but I'm in.
So I'm not, folks, I'm not trying to be rude. I keep saying that there's going to be three of you that are going to listen to this. Eventually, tell all your friends.
Well, I think at this point, perhaps we should spin the wheel of trashy movies and decide what we're going to talk about on the next episode.
All right. You've got the wheel.
All right, let's do it. The wheel has spoken.
Uh-oh.
The wheel tells us that our next episode will be Don't Go in the Woods, also known as Don't Go in the Woods Alone. A 1981 classic about kids, in air quotes, going in the woods and getting attacked by a crazy person.
Awesome.
Kind of the early slasher era. I remember seeing the video box prominently displayed on the top shelf of the video store when I was a kid.
I do not remember this at all.
So that will be fun.
I think Jeff's forced me to watch this movie before, so we'll just go with it.
It's possible.
Probably.
I may have been drinking.
He may have been drinking. I may have been drinking. I may have fallen asleep during it the first time. We'll see if I remember it.
So thanks for listening to our first episode. It might be a little bumpy due to being socially distanced and recording remotely. So thanks for listening and bearing with us. Hopefully we can get things ironed out. Please stay socially distanced. Wear your mask. Find things to do without making all this worse, so we can actually all go hang out at some point. By the time you listen to this, we should be up on the social medias. You should be able to find us at WTH Did We Watch at Gmail and all the social medias. Or if you know us, just hit us up personally. If you have recommendations for movies, we may or may not use them, but feel free to reach out. At some point, we will be set up to let people kind of call in and tell us how we're doing, or talk about the movie we talked about in the last episode, or talk about the movie we're going to talk about on the next episode, or just rant about crazy movies. So
that's right. If we figure it out, we will put the link on this to leave a message or email us so that we can, read your comments. They won't take long because, once again, there's only going to be 3 of you. I don't know. I'm just that guy. All right.
We're aiming high.
Aiming high. We're shooting for 3 listeners our first episode. If we hit 5, we'll probably throw a party with those 5 listeners after COVID is over, and we can all go back and stay out past 10 o'clock at a bar.
And watch Night of the Demon.
Oh, God, Jeff.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Come back and listen again if you enjoyed listening to us ramble on about crazy, shitty movies.
Oh, yes. Do that. And have a great week. This is coming out after Christmas, and we're going to leave that remark in because we got it. But we hope you had a great Christmas and great holidays, and we will see you in a week.
We will see you soon.